Family Sports Complex. It's a nice, exciting Arizona CrossFit matchup between Chandler and your Brophy Broncos. Before we start our game tonight, we're going to celebrate our 5 seniors for their dedication to the program over the last 4 years. Several of these guys have been part of all 3 state championship teams over their time here as the Broncos. Before we get started, I'm going to direct your attention to our video board for a special presentation presented by Adrian Chandler. And thanks for putting this together. On behalf of Principal Jim Bopp and Head Coach Pat Harbison, let's celebrate our Brophy Lacrosse seniors for the 2025 season. Leading us off, number 21 defender, Tom Maliga. Tom is joined by his parents, Sean and Will, sister Emerson, grandparents, Carol and Rich, and girlfriend Bella. Special shout out to Grandma Karen, who's in Washington watching on the live feed, who couldn't be here tonight. Tom's been a 3-year letter winner and all-state recipient in his sophomore and junior years. He's also played football. His favorite memory was the Vegas trip to lacrosse during his freshman season. He'll be attending Mercer University to play lacrosse and study electrical engineering. Number 21, Bob Baldiga. Our next senior is number 26, Attack Josh Busi. Josh is joined by his parents, Stacey and Luke, and brother Lucas, and Jonah. He will be a 3-year letter winner for Broncos. He was an all-ALL first-team selection in 2024 after leading the team in the state championship, tying for the team lead with 63 goals and totaling 15 assists. He has totaled 214 points, 167 goals, and 47 assists in his career. His favorite Brophy memory is eating lunch with his friends at lunch. He will play lacrosse at Queen University in North Carolina. Number 26, Attack Josh Busi. Our next senior is number 35, midfielder, Ben Geist. Ben is joined by his parents, Emily and Greg, and siblings, Jonan and Ellie. Ben has been a 3-year letter winner for Broncos. As a junior, he scored 12 goals and 21 balls and was an all-Arizona academic selection. His favorite memory was winning his first state championship. He will play lacrosse at Oberlin College and plans to study biology. Number 35, Ben Geist. seniors, number 40, Mitty, Matthew Lightman. He's joined by his parents, Margo and Scott, and brother Drew. He's been a three-year letter winner in high school, and all Arizona lacrosse player, academic lacrosse, and all state selections. His favorite Brophy memory was scoring the first goal in the state championship game last season. He plans to attend the U.S. Naval Academy and study cyber operations and play lacrosse. Number 40, Matthew Lightman. And our final senior is number 16, short stick defensive midfielder, Harrison Hughes. He's joined by his parents, Suzanne and Harry, his sister Olivia, who attends Xavier. He has been a three-year letter winner and two-time first team all-state selection. Last season, he recorded 49 ground balls and caused 21 turnovers while adding 14 goals and 17 assists. He's been an academic all-state choice. His favorite Brophy memory was attending the El Salvador immersion trip last season. He will play lacrosse at college with a free-law track. Number 16, Harrison Hughes.
Hold it.
Yeah.
Let's hear it for our 5 rookie Broncos seniors and thank them for their years of dedication playing for our lacrosse program. It's time for the game. Start here at 7:30 again. Thank you, seniors. Thank you, families. We got a dedication to the program. Thank you, Mr. Brophy, for being here. How do I do? Are you all right?
You did outstanding.
Hey, thank you.
It's the game of the year in Arizona as the last two unbeaten teams square off here tonight. 9-0 Brophy hosts 8-0 Chandler in a battle for the likely #1 seed in the Arizona State playoffs. These two teams have had this game circled for quite a while as they have separated themselves from the rest of the ALL pack. The Broncos are three-time defending state champions and looking for 4 in a row. Chandler is the last team in Arizona to beat Brophy back in 2023 and looking to do so again here tonight. The difference in tonight's game is likely to be which defense holds up better, as both teams feature strong offensive talent. For Brophy, the attack duo of Eli Friedman and Josh Busey has been a force for opposing goalies and goals. Dylan Finder is the catalyst for Chandler's offense, and it will be up to the Brophy defense to limit his impact. Let's hear from Brophy head coach Pat Harbison for his thoughts on tonight's matchup.
Tough against them, but at the end of the day, our mantra for not just this game but every game is there's no big games, right? We want to play our best every single time that we're on the field. Certainly there's playoff implications and two of the top 2 teams, but I think if we just focus 5 minutes at a time, each quarter at a time, half at a time, etc. Hopefully good things happen, and they're a really good team. They're a good program.
Let's go through a few keys for tonight.
We played them a couple years ago in the championship. I'm expecting a really fast-paced, fun game, and hopefully we got a lot of people out here to watch. One of the best Arizona games, high school games in this year.
If there's one thing you want to focus on, what would that be?
There's a lot, but I think for right now, just staying together. The course of the game is going to have ups and downs. The course of our season has had ups and downs, and I think we can do a better job at just staying together, buying in as a team, playing for each other. And I think if we do that, good things are going to happen.
Defensive side of the ball, anything special with a dynamic player like Dylan Finder?
Certainly a great player. Coached him for a long time. He's gone off to play at Rutgers. We've played a lot of really good teams this year, out of state. We've challenged ourselves, and the purpose of that is for games like tonight, that we play a really good team. So nothing out of the ordinary, but just respecting a good player, and I'm certain that he's going to put some balls in the back of the net, and we just got to make sure that we're correcting our mistakes throughout the game.
I'm joined by Nate Lacasse, and Nate, let's go through a few keys for tonight, what will be a spirited matchup. Face-off play and possession control will be important, as well as shot selection. So, Nate, what do you think about tonight's matchup?
Yeah, this is a great night. First of all, it's 85, 86 degrees here in Phoenix. It's two undefeated teams battling against each other, so this is going to be a great game. So, buckle up, pop the popcorn, get ready. We're going to have a good time tonight. I think the keys of the game on the Brophy side, just like you were talking about, I think the face-offs are going to be key. I think when it comes to the face-off, it's always going to come down to the wing play as well. And then defensively, both teams are really going to have to communicate, because both teams offensively like to move the ball. They have strong scorers, and so the defensive unit's going to have to be able to talk to each other, communicate, and what that really comes down to is the slide package, where the double teams will have to come, and then what we call the hot and the 2 slides. So those are going to be keys, and then who knows, this may even come down to the goalie play. And Brophy certainly has a phenomenal player in Ryan Petzmeyer in goalie. So excited to watch tonight. This is going to be a fun game. It should be pretty fast-paced. I can imagine Chandler trying to slow it down. I think one of the things that a lot of teams like to do is try to slow down Brophy's transition game. If you try to get in a running or a track meet with Brophy, they tend to put up a lot of points very, very quickly. That being said, Chandler plays fast as well, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of strategy Chandler comes out tonight against Brophy.
We've seen a lot of zone defense against the Brophy Broncos in the last few games. Like you said, I would imagine Chandler to throw some zone defense in there and make Brophy move the ball around, limit their dodging capabilities, and try and find that outside shot. For Chandler, number 19, Dylan Finder, is the catalyst to their offense. He is a Rutgers University commit, and he initiates all of their offense. It will be interesting to see how early Brophy slides on that, forces him to pass, forces him to score. I think more assists and less goals would be a better equation for Brophy against Finder. Here we go, the opening faceoff. Number 10, Jack Rossoni. Number 22, Shane Wilsey at the faceoff dot, and it will be a big matchup. Wilsey gets the early faceoff, and First possession goes to Chandler.
Number 8, Nate LaGuardia, a very, very talented LSM in this state, will stay on offense sometimes with Chandler. Right there, you just saw that he remained on there. But it's a turnover going to Brophy.
Clearing game is what we talked about earlier, is a key for the Broncos. Last few games it's been a little bit suspect, and here on the first time, Ben Geist wrestles his way in across midfield, and Brophy gets the first touch, and we'll have the first look at offense. Geist with the shot, save. The goalie for Chandler is Grant Miller. He's a sophomore.
Nice rebound, ground ball there by Tate Lacoste, maintained possession for Brophy, and the clear was very important. It's important not to get frantic on that clear. Ben Geist did a great job coming up the sidelines. Could have passed it back, but he saw that he had the corner and took it took it around the defensive player. So great job by Ben Geist right there.
Eli Friedman, Brophy's leading scorer with 57 goals, here initiates the offense from X against the short stick. Shot by Friedman is wide. It will remain Brophy possession. Oh, we have a flag on the play. I did not see it across the field, so Brophy will go man up. It is a slash on Chandler, so Brophy will have a 60-second man-up possession. Essentially, that's a 6-on-5 power play.
Something we're going to really look for tonight is just that ball movement. We talk about that every week, or every game. It's critical. Again, when Brophy tends to move the ball quicker rather than holding in the stick and playing the one-on-one game, they do a very, very good job of executing on the offensive. And it's all about getting everybody to eat, so to speak. Everybody gets a shot, everybody gets to score, everybody gets to have fun and play loose.
One of the things Coach Harbison mentioned was take command early and wrest control in the first quarter. Throw the first punch. Here, Brophy has a man-up situation to try and go up 1-0 less than 2 minutes into the game. We'll see if they can capitalize. But there is an unforced turnover for Brophy.
Little miscommunication there between Tate Lacoste and Josh Busey. Usually those two are dialed in. They score a lot together. So early turnover. Could be a little bit of jitters here. Two undefeated teams battling. But they'll settle down here. Nate LaGuardia, again, talked about this, a very talented LSM bringing it across, and now he's going straight to the cage.
No one stopped him there, and LaGuardia takes it for the early goal. Chandler takes a 1-0 lead as no Brophy defender came up to stop ball in transition. Transition is typically Brophy's strong suit, but there the shoe was on the other foot.
Yeah, just a great job by Nate LaGuardia to keep on pressing the ball. That's what you want out of your LSM. They're going to make you slide. And for Brophy, there was a chance there that they didn't want to slide, and they were going to let the LSM score, which is typically better to do than your attack scoring. However, Nate LaGuardia is a talented player, and he can definitely put the ball in the back of the cage.
He saw an opening, an aggressive player coming out of the out-of-bounds. So, again, off the turnover, Chandler takes advantage and finds the 1-0 early lead.
Jack Grassoni with another face-off win, which is going to be critical here in this particular game.
Shot by Grassoni, a save, second one of the night for Miller. Grassoni's on a scoring tear, but possession will be important. Last time Brophy had the ball, they turned it over. Chandler resulted in a goal. Here, a quick shot gives the ball back to Chandler. But here, a nice ride by Eli Friedman. Picks it up, and Brophy in possession and in transition. Watch out for Harrison Yu, folks, number 16. Over to Friedman. And now Brophy will slow it up, get settled, and get their 6-on-6 offense.
Nice play by freshman number 38, Nashur, right there. He came on as an LSM or wing play, was able to get the ball, made a quick pass to Harry to set up the offense. So great defensive play right there. Probably going to see Brophy try to spin the ball a couple of times around, not necessarily to slow the ball game down, but just to kind of get in a rhythm.
Also moving the ball around forces the defense to move, and you can find an opening in that way. This is Tate Armstrong. Over to Maddox Ranley. Ranley with a nice rollback. Gets in close, shot. Another save, third save of the night for Grant Miller. Talked about how goalie play could be a factor in tonight's game, and already Miller with 3 big saves for Chandler.
Yeah, really good read dodge there by number 6, Maddox Ranley. Attempted, brought it back, cut through, had a shot, but again, great save by Miller, the goalie.
There's an early slide by Chandler, and a nice strip by Branton Fountain. And Chandler again gets control.
Both teams are going to play a serve and aggressive. That is definitely Chandler's game. They're very good at playing aggressive. So Brophy has got to match that aggressiveness.
Coach Tice Thielson for Chandler talked about playing aggressive team defense and having good off-ball communication. We've seen that early going for Chandler with a couple of forced turnovers. Number 19 is on your near side. Dylan Finder, he's guarded right now, sealed off by Tate Armstrong in his 6'6" frame. They'll let that dodge go through. Jake Zogelman while cutting off Finder.
Chandler does a good job of finding the inside crease man, so the player that's near the goal right around the top of the crease. They're going to be looking for that off of this two-man game behind. We have an illegal pick right there, illegal screen, so it's going to turn over to Brophy. In lacrosse, it's similar to basketball where the player who's setting the pick has to maintain, cannot move. If he does move, it's an illegal pick.
Brophy here, Dane Helt will go across midfield.
Great clear right there to Dane, very easy. Nice crossover pass. I think that was Carter Fitzgerald with the pass over to Dane Helt. Dane Helt confidently takes it across. Here, Tate Lacoste is just going to settle down as they're subbing in the players to get their offensive set. Brophy really needs to get a good offensive possession with a really good shot. They haven't had a great shot or a great look here yet, Scott.
Chandler has outscored opponents 31-6 in the first quarter this year. So as much as Coach Harbison said that Brophy needed to get out and have a quick start, it's the MO of Chandler this year and what they've done. Two-man game from the X. Here's freshman Braden Duck. Nice open pass. Josh Busey on the doorstep, and we have a 1-1 ball game.
There we go. And you know what? This is exactly why they like Braden Duck. Goes by Duck. He's a freshman here at Brophy. They like him back there off the two-man game because he's extremely quick, very, very unselfish. He's got a great right or left. So there we saw him go up the left island or the left hash. That's not a problem for a guy like number 22, Braden Duck. He has the ability to pass and or shoot. Very unselfish in this offense. Great cut by Josh Busey. Excellent feed and finish. Great play by Brophy.
Brophy taking advantage of the two-man game behind the cage, using Matthew Lightman and Braden Duck to create that mismatch. Duck had a few steps. They committed to him. He looked over and saw Busey with a beautiful cut to the cage, and he found the back of the net. Here's another battle at the face-off X. We need wing play for Brophy is key, and here Harrison Yu comes up with a key ground ball, giving Brophy possession. Yu with the shot. Saved by Miller.
Miller's playing great in goalie. That's a hard shot. Harrison takes it all the way to the rack like that. He's got a very quick shot and very accurate. Very rarely does Harrison miss, and there he didn't miss. It was right what we call a shot on goal, which means it either hit the goalie or it goes on in cage. So you can't speak enough about his hustle on the ground ball. That wing play we talked about earlier is a key in the game. In a face-off is that wing play, and right there Harrison Yu with an excellent ground ball and then pushed in transition.
Here's another play starting from behind the cage again with Braden Duck, a freshman from the Mesa area. Ambidextrous. There we have a flag on Chandler, and the second man-up opportunity for the Broncos. Maybe not liked by part of the crowd, but when you hit someone up high, the flag is going to come out.
Yeah, and if you push in the back, it's going to come out, and that should be called both ways. So you can't if you can't see the front of their jersey and you hit them in the back, it's going to be a penalty. But great job by Ducky right there, by Braden Duck to push and to come up the island. Again, he was looking. He had Tate Lacoste right in the middle, wide open. He was looking for him for the other score.
So Brophy looking to take its first lead of the game here. Wide open in the middle. Tate Lacoste had a little bit of a defensive pressure there and couldn't get his full shot off, but it will still be Brophy ball with 5.5 minutes here left in the opening quarter.
That was a good look by Josh Busey inside. Tate was open. Just great defense right there to collapse on him quickly. This is where we want to see Brophy be patient. We want to move the ball until you find the right shot. Again, there is no shot clock in high school lacrosse. College and the pros there are. So as an offensive player, you obviously want to shoot, but you want to take the right shot.
We're back to even strength as Chandler successfully killed off the penalty. Again, Brophy looking to take advantage of a short stick on short stick matchup down low. This is Carter Fitzgerald, a lefty, and he finds the back of the net, curls around, gets his hands free, and we have a 2-1 Brophy lead.
Brophy takes the lead on a great dodge. Again, this two-man game, I mean, it's old school. It's like if you watch basketball back in the day, it's like Utah Jazz, right? You're talking Karl Malone and John Stockton with a two-man game. And so they're playing that. They're obviously, Coach Pat's obviously seeing something that's happened with the Chandler's defense and setting them up back there behind cage. The other advantage of doing that is if you're watching, they're setting up, Brophy's setting up their offense so far high up around the 25 and 30 yard line that as soon as that Dodger goes up the hash, they're able to make multiple cuts.
Grissoni with the faceoff win, 3 in a row for Brophy at the faceoff dot. There's Busey, shot and a goal. Make it, take it. 2 goals for Brophy within 8 seconds, and we're up 3-1 for the Broncos. Busey's second goal of the night.
Take your sticks, grab a ball, go down to the courts, and play old school, make it, take it. And that's exactly what Jack Grissoni gives Brophy. And we talked about it. That face-off, the battle at the face-off is going to be critical because any team that can play make it, take it is going to have the advantage. Josh Busey, it's almost like in baseball when the pitcher throws a changeup. Busey has a rifle. I mean, that kid can shoot. Makes a great dodge, just kind of gently places in the top corner.
Grissoni's been on a run, and here again the 4th consecutive face-off win for the Broncos. But unforced turnover again. That's been the part that's hurt Brophy. 3 turnovers already in the night, and 1 led to a man-down goal.
And it's the unforced turnovers that you really want to avoid. I mean, obviously that's kind of a no-brainer statement right there. But Harry trying to push in transition, making the pass. It was a good idea. The defender made a great play, snapped the ball right out of the air.
Here's Finder. Jace White. Find inside Jake Bieber, who's been on a scoring tear so recently for Chandler. Open on the crease. Cuts the lead to 3-2. Good ball movement by Chandler there. Finder down low. And then eventually finds the stick of Bieber for the goal.
That was a great play. You know, Dylan Finder, obviously excellent midfielder, can shoot, he's got a lot of range, can dodge. He goes right, he goes left. The one thing I appreciate about Dylan's game is he's an unselfish player. Right there, he could have shot the ball. He could have took the shot, worked it back to X, and an excellent feed down to the crease for the goal. And again, that's what we talked about. Chandler's going to try to find that crease player. And they did a successful job right there. So compliments to Chandler right there.
And that's where the Brophy defense cannot fall asleep. They have to be attuned in the whole game because there has been a little bit of a pattern of leaving guys open in the hub area. Eli Freeman's shot did not reach the cage. Blocked down by Colin Hauser at defense, and off comes Chandler.
Great take by Eli. He was open. Again, just a nice defensive play right there, but it was the right play. Zach Lacoste taking on Jake Brown there. Number 34, they both battle, and they play together a lot of times in summer or travel ball, so that's kind of fun to watch.
Early slide for Brophy on Finder. Feed him away. Again, a cutter. Misconnection there, but he was open, cutting across the middle. It's something Brophy's going to have to watch when Finder has the ball. The off-ball cutters are going to be there, and he will find them. Here comes Ben Geist in transition. Geist with the shot. And that was his 5th save for Miller. Probably not the best shot for the Broncos there.
Yeah, earlier with Dylan, again, Dylan's going to be unselfish. He's going to try to feed that crease. The defenders were there, so he was able to cause that turnover or drop ball and get a stick on him. Right there, Ben Geist pushing in transition. You'd probably like to see a pass off of that. He did a good job drawing the slide, make the pass, let your attackman take the ball to the cage.
Or settle it down. Your defense just worked hard and get a good 6-on-6 situation. We're 2.5 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. 3-2 Brophy. This is Jake Zogelman with the ball behind the cage.
Looks like Chandler's going to do a little bit of a two-man game behind the cage too. The reason why this is effective at any level is because it makes the goalie turn around. So if the goalie's got to move, that's an advantage. You want the goalie to have to move just like any defender.
This is Finder. Looking for Jake Brown in the middle. Again, he was open there. But misconnection there, and Brophy will get the ball. Let's see how they clear the ball. The last 2 have not been successful.
Really like the defense there by the LSM. Aiden Asher to force him down the alley, force him to pass or shoot with his left hand. Dylan is naturally a right, can go right or left, but you might as well force him to his offhand, and so he did, and we got another turnover. So excellent job. This is patience that we need here.
Timeout Brophy on that play. He saw Dane Helt going across midfield, but there was some traffic there. It was a little bit uncertain. He said, okay, 2 minutes to go here. It's 3-2. Last few times have not been successful. Let's break it down. Let's get reset, get a good offensive shot to take a 2-goal margin.
Yeah, Dane is an excellent player. Great, he can play LSM or he can play down low. Right now, he's currently playing down low. But the good thing about any of the defenders playing down low for Brophy, whether it's Tob, whether it's Dane, or whether it's Zach, all three of them could take the ball across the line. I think what Coach Pat was trying to do, exactly to your point, Scott, you're spot on. I think he was just trying to get it settled down. Let's get a timeout. Let's get in the offensive set. Let's move the ball around, and let's try to win this first quarter, right? Any sport, you always are trying to win the quarter. Right now, Broncos are winning it 3-2. They would like to get a 4-2 with probably bring this clock down to maybe a minute left to try to take the lead and going up 4-2, put that pressure on Chandler.
So what's at stake tonight? You have 8-0 Chandler playing at 9-0 Brophy. The winner of this game is likely to be the number 1 seed in the ALL playoffs. That puts you in a certain bracket situation. It means the number 2 seed will have to play the number 3 seed in the semifinals, most likely if it plays out the way it would. Right now, number 2 would play probably number 3. Looks like it might be Desert Vista, and Chandler still has to play Desert Vista one more time in league play. But let's assume that these two teams are the number 1 and number 2, and the winner is 1 and the loser is 2. So that is what's at stake here. Both teams should get a home field for the quarterfinal round. But avoiding that number 3 matchup in the semifinal is probably what these teams are going at, in addition to pride. I mean, Brophy hasn't lost in Arizona since 2023. Eli Friedman off the take, a little high and wide, and Brophy will retain possession here, coming out of that timeout.
So they're giving Eli a chance to dodge from 30, 40 yards out. With his speed, I can understand that. I'd like to see a little bit more patience here, work the ball around, and try to get a great goal, a great shot, and burn off about a minute off of this clock.
Matthew Lightman up top, down the alley, finds a seam shot, just wide, and the run out will go to Brophy.
Matthew Lightman with a great first step. Again, that's kind of his sweet spot. He likes to dodge right down the alley there, Scott, as you well know. Very good score on the run. Not a lot of guys can shoot well on the run. Matthew Lightman can shoot very well on the run right there.
Busey has a screen, gets to the middle on the sweep. Carter Fitzgerald, natural lefty, converted from attack to the middle, the mid-year, finds Friedman. Friedman comes across the middle, but into traffic, and the stick is checked on that shot. It will remain Brophy ball.
Yeah, great look by Carter Fitzgerald. Nice cut by Eli. Props to Chandler. They are getting their sticks on anybody that's coming into the middle. So the middle's open, but they are really moving well, and their sticks they're putting stick on stick, so to speak. They're not going body. Usually Chandler plays very, very aggressive, but they're getting their stick on the offensive player's stick and throws it off, just like he did right there for Eli. But that's okay. Brophy, keep pushing the middle. Keep looking inside. That's obviously increase your odds.
Lightman on the S side, shot and a goal.
Beautiful goal by Matthew Lightman. I just talked about it. And actually I was giving him props for being a great dodger on the right. There he takes it left, switches back to his right hand, and again, fake slow goes high. That was an excellent dodge, a great take. And hey, it's senior night. Let the seniors eat a little bit out here. Great job, number 40.
A nice take in an important spot in the game, swinging the ball around, getting their third shot of the possession. So extra parts of a possession lead to goals. That was a nice take. They got the defense out of position. When the ball swung around, he saw his defender was off. He had him on his heels and beat him to the cage.
That should be a hold right there.
It sure should be, but Grissoni got it anyway.
But great job by Grissoni. Hopefully he pulls it out. Yes, he does. So smart play. So that's called over and back. Great play by Jack to win it. Good decision to pull it back out. Unfortunately, it was just not a great pass, and so it was a turnover.
And again, another turnover leads to a goal for Chandler. Jace White, 27 seconds to go. Makes it 4-3. Taking advantage of the Brophy turnover, a quick restart. Jace now has 29 goals on the season. He is committed to Lewis University, a Division II school in Illinois. He scored 5 goals against Corona, 8 goals against Oro, and is first there tonight.
Yeah, nice move by Jace. Good spin move. Not easy to get a move and a score like that on a big guy like Tob, but, props and hats off to Jace. A great little move right there to get around him. Switches back to his right and takes the shot. So, again, Brophy wins the faceoff. This should be a clear advantage for Brophy all night. Probably going to settle down. This is when you definitely want to play for the last shot. You got about 15 seconds left in the quarter. and this would be important to play for a good shot.
You have a face-off guy, 10 seconds to go. Here comes Harrison Yu, Colorado College commit, shot and a goal with 4 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Oftentimes, Brophy's been on the other end of late quarter goals. This is a juice goal for Brophy.
Yeah, that's huge. And, I mean, you need that from your senior leadership. And for Matthew Lightman, the goal earlier to go up 4-2, we just give up a goal. Harry picks it up for his team as a senior, takes the ball, says, you know what, guys, I got this, goes in, makes a great dodge, and puts the ball in the back of the net. So great job by Harry Yu and these seniors.
For Harrison, his 9th goal of the season to go along with 9 assists. And that's the end of the first quarter. Brophy leads 5-3. We had 3 goals in the last 31 seconds of the first quarter. Talk about fireworks. We knew it was going to be an offensive game, and it was going to come down to which defense could hold off a little bit better. Here we have a 5-3 matchup after 12 minutes.
Yeah, you got to think that Brophy's got to be happy. I mean, any coach is never completely happy with how their team plays, but given the fact that you're playing an undefeated team, Chandler's coming in here. They're very confident. They're a very, very good team. They work hard. They have a lot of talent. They play aggressive. They play assertive. They play, again, like I said, with a lot of confidence. They want to come in here and ruin senior night for Brophy. If there's anything they want to do, they want to come in. They know that they're probably going to be matched up again. You know, odds are in the playoffs, but they want to come in here and win this. So if you're Coach Pat and Brophy, you got to be happy, one, that you scored 5 goals. You've held Chandler to 3. Chandler is a very, very fast-scoring team, and I think you brought it up in the beginning of the broadcast, Scott. They outscore their opponents, what was it,
31-6 in the first quarter, and here Brophy leaves with a 5-3 margin.
So that's a win, right? And we talked about this before. You win every quarter, right? Don't focus on the whole game. Focus on the quarter. Focus on the play at hand. Every play, one play at a time, and that's what Brophy has done here. And so for them to be up 5-3 at home is big to slow down this Chandler Lacrosse Club team.
So Brophy's won 7 of the 8 face-offs this evening, but Grant Miller has done a nice job in cage for Chandler with 4 saves and also 4 turnovers for Brophy, and 2 of those have led directly to 2 of 3 Chandler's goals, so sort of negating some of that face-off advantage. Ball control, possession control will be critical in the final result of tonight's game. 4 turnovers in a quarter, if you extrapolate that out. I wasn't a math major at college, but I know that 4 times 4 is 16, and that's too many turnovers for a game for one team.
Yeah, you want to limit that, and you definitely want to limit the turnovers, that is for sure. I mean, just like in any sport, whether it's basketball, football, lacrosse, if you can limit the turnovers, you can gain possession, you're going to have a very good opportunity to win the game. So let's see how this goes in the second quarter. Let's see if Brophy can continue to keep the Chandler Lacrosse Club at bay.
One of the things we talked about was wing play. There, Grissoni won it to himself, but wing play has been better for Brophy tonight and resulting in 8 of 9 face-off wins for the Broncos. Grissoni looking for another goal. As we mentioned earlier, Grissoni's had goals in 6 of the last 7 games, and there he was looking to make it 7 out of the last 8. Just a little high there. He gets off the field. Now Brophy in its 6-on-6 offensive set.
I think Coach Pat's going to be fine with the push and the transition like that, or the fast break opportunity that Jack is trying to create there. I do think we probably sometimes need to pull it back out, hit the attackman. If he's wide open, go ahead and take the shot from 5, 6, 7 yards. Other than that, we probably want to get to the attack in the mini and let these scores. Brophy's got 6 guys that can put the ball in the back of the cage pretty easily.
Here's one of them, Eli Friedman, number 12, the leading scorer for the Broncos. Here's Tate. Nice doorstop save by Miller as Tate Lacoste came around the cage with some speed, beating his man.
Yeah, a little shake and bake, break the ankles. Great move by Tate Lacoste. Goalie Miller just made a nice play. Good location by Tate to try to go low. That was the right shot. Whoa, Tate Armstrong, the other Tate, the 6'6", number 13 from deep. That was probably 12, 13 yards out. I tell you what, when that kid can wind up and shoot, that ball is flying. And that was a great shot by Tate Armstrong. The last couple of games, Scott, I have really liked Tate Armstrong's confidence to go shoot the ball. He's naturally looking to pass it, but these last few games, he's looked for his shot, and I think that's great.
Tate had This is his 14th goal of the year. Last year, as a sophomore, he had 4 goals in 11 games on a senior-laden team. So, as you mentioned, he is coming of age as the season goes on, making his mark. And what that allows Brophy to do is have 2 talented midfield units, which helps for your conditioning, helps with taking advantage of the other team late in the game. So winning each quarter is important. Winning the third and fourth quarter are critically important.
Yeah, if you can have 2 midi lines that can run and score and dish and play the game, it makes it really difficult for the other team to hang all 4 quarters. Chandler here, let's see, they're going to move the ball back down here, down behind
This
X.
is Finder. Beats Kendall Winston, but a nice early slide by Baldiga. Forces the ball out of his hand. A nice Rico recovery defense by the Broncos here.
Great job. That's a freshman against the senior and Dylan Finder at Kendall Winston, number 17, playing behind cage against a senior that's going to Rutgers. Great job by Kendall right there.
Shot off the post, the goalie's best friend. A reload by Chandler. And we talk about oftentimes, Nate, that a defender doesn't need to take the ball away necessarily, just needs to do his job and contain his man, not let him get to the spot he wants. And that's what Kendall did on that last play against Finder.
Yeah.
Here's Finder on Baldiga, a key matchup.
Great move earlier there by Jake Zogelman for Chandler to come up the hash. Great defense, great sliding. Brophy is playing pretty tough inside. I like to see that. This is going to be critical. Just like Chandler's playing physical and getting the sticks on an offensive player on their inside, Brophy's got to do the same thing because, again, Chandler is going to look to feed the crease.
Chandler cut the lead to 3-2 in the first quarter. Since then, Brophy's on a 3-1 run to take a 3-goal advantage here. Here's Baldiga on Finder. You'll hear that a lot tonight. This is Jake Brown with Zach Lacoste guarding him. Nice play. Nice slide by Baldiga and save by Peitzmeyer. A 3-man Brophy defense. And what happens off of that miss? Brophy gets the ball. Good hustle play.
Great defense. Zach Lacoste forcing him down the alley like that. Very nice slide by Todd to help out and forced a bad shot. Oh!
We were silent there. We were watching it just like you guys were in anticipation of what might happen. What did happen was Ryan Peitzmeyer was trying to clear it for Brophy. The ball got stripped from him. Jace White picked it up and took a long-distance shot, and it went off the crossbar, went out of bounds, and Brophy will have another chance at a clear. The last 3 times have been unsuccessful for the Broncos. Here it looks like Lacoste will take it across midfield and give Brophy possession.
Yeah, a great play by Dane Hill. I think he got the stick out there and tipped it. But, you see the athleticism by Ryan to bring it up. Ideally, you'd want Ryan to probably try to feed it to a midi. Great clear earlier there by Zach Lacoste coming up the side very nonchalantly, takes it across, makes a nice pass, but unfortunately we had a turnover down there.
That's turnover number 5 for the Broncos, and that's what will cost them control of this game if that continues tonight.
I didn't see why it was a turnover. I missed that part, so that's my fault, but hopefully you saw it on screen if you guys are watching. It was offsides. Okay. Thank you there. By Mr. Jeff Lowry,
our
executive
executive producer, camera operator, director of photography, you name it. Responsible for getting this game to you wherever you may be. I know we have a contingent on Long Island in New York, and right now it's 11 o'clock at night, so thank you, Matt, the forefather of Brophy Lacrosse Broadcasting, for watching and supporting, and to all of our fans all across the country and maybe even the world. Here a pickup by Zach Lacoste. Sorry, Nate. They are twins in my defense, and I haven't known them for a few years playing with my younger son, but that was Zach.
That was Zach Lacoste with a great defense, a great ground ball. Smart to get it back to Ryan, the goalie. And nice clear right here. Yeah, we have fans all over the place. We got fans in Silverton, Oregon, Alaska, Ohio. We got Long Island. They're all over the place, Scott.
Can't get enough of you and me on the call. Thank you for joining us. I know it's for the commentary and not for the boys on the field, but let's give the boys on the field a round of applause for both teams for all their efforts. So far, it's been a nice, hard-fought, clean sportsmanship game, which we want to see.
Yeah, both teams really respect each other. I mean, they obviously want to beat each other, but I think they respect each other. A lot of these guys play together on travel teams and club ball in the summer and the fall. So a lot of respect out here for the talent.
Absolutely. I know that Matthew, my son, and Dylan Finder have played together for 6 or 7 years. So seeing the Finder family in the stands before the game on senior night was a cool moment that these boys have grown up and played together, and now, their last, may not be their last game playing against each other. state championship game coming up soon. It could be these two teams.
Yeah. Nice idea right there by Maddox to try to cross pass over to Tate, number 5 on the crease. Just a great play by the goalie Miller to intercept that pass.
Grant's had a nice game so far tonight, 6 saves, and that will be a cause turnover for him, forcing the ball a little bit by the Broncos. And here's Nate LaGuardia, who scored the first goal of the game for Chandler, a talented junior player. He's got good size, has played on the national scene in club ball as well. We have a timeout for Chandler with 6:13 left in the second period, 6-3 Broncos. What are you looking for Chandler coming out of this timeout, Nate?
Well, first of all, we talked about a little bit earlier, or in the beginning of the game, that this game could come down to goalie play. And you said it, but a lot of times the goalies don't get a lot of credit because, if you score a lot of points, you're like, oh, the goalie didn't play well or whatever. But that's not necessarily true. They have a defense in front of them. But the goalie needs to get credit when credit is due. And I'm telling you, Miller has played a game, and there is a reason why it's not 10 or 11-3 right now, and that's because of the play by Miller. His defense has been playing well, no doubt about it, but he's got to make saves. And this Brophy team, like I said earlier, there's plenty of players that can put the ball in the net. And props to Miller for how well he's playing. And I don't think he's seen as many shots as he's probably going to see tonight. This is obviously Chandler's toughest team that they've played. For Brophy, I would say the same thing from an in-state perspective. But I bet you he has not seen as many shots. Coach Pat likes to throw up 30, 40, 50 shots a game.
His season high is 11 saves, and that was against Corona. Tonight he already has, by my unofficial count, 6 saves already, and we're just midway through the second quarter, so he's going to see a barrage from Brophy coming through. And so far, he's been up to the task. And we talked about how goalie play and how the defenses would hold up was going to be a key. Thus far, Brophy has done a nice job sliding against the Chandler offense. Their one goal came on a long pole goal off a transition play, one of the 3. And also, again, Chandler's been doing a nice job in keeping some of the big guns silent. Eli Friedman does not have a point yet tonight. He's the leading scorer for the Broncos. Tate Lacoste, who's been on a tear recently, has not really had other than that one shot that was contested on the crease, has not really had a shot opportunity. So Chandler's defense is up to the task as well.
Yeah, my guess is Chandler here is going to try to step back, behind the cage, 2-man game, look for a cutter on the crease.
Ben Geist on defense here.
Good job covering the crease right there. He had to force it up top and move the ball around. Zach Lacoste forces Jake Brown down the alley. Jake does a good job of moving it to X. When a offensive player does that, ideally what they're trying to do is move it to the backside for a 2v1 situation.
Here's Finder. Wanted to shoot it, but wisely held it with the cradle as he didn't have an open shot. There, a backhand scoop contested by Lacoste, and the run out goes to Chandler. I'm not exact. No, he's changing his call. Yeah. Ryan Peitzmeyer, the goalie, and Dane Helt were both closer to the ball. The rule is where the closest man to the ball, where and when the ball goes out of bounds, that team gets possession. They are keeping it Chandler ball, which I'm not sure that I would have called it that way. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah, calls like that can definitely be questionable. Brophy may have had one earlier, so the lacrosse gods are going to have their way sometimes. Great defense right there.
Chandler takes advantage. Jake Zogelman with his 6th goal of the year from X cuts the lead to 6-4. Chandler's first goal since the latter part of the opening quarter.
Again, Chandler trying to come from X or behind the cage. They did that. Great defense right there. Nice slide. They created the ground ball. It was just a rebound and a putback. So you're gonna live with that. You would rather have that slide to collide, type of approach for defensively. Get that ball on the ground and force them to make a play like that.
Looks like just a slip by the defender there.
Slip by the defender. Sorry, my fault.
No, it's all right. It slipped by the defender, created that opening, and a nice play by Zogelman to do the inside roll, get in front of the cage, and beat Ryan Peitzmeyer.
So both teams are trying to attack
Cressoni again with another face-off win. Sorry, Nate, that's 9 of 11 for the Broncos. And here he's going to face some pressure, gets the touch, and now Brophy will reset its offense. Eli Friedman coming out of the box instead of the attack unit right now, number 12.
Smart play by Jack. Excellent job winning the face-off. Excellent job to turn around, reverse pivot. You got a lot of ground. A lot of players forget you can run backwards, and Lacrosse did that. Get it back to Maddox and set up in the offense. So good decision, good job.
Now Brophy in 6-on-6 offense with a 6-4 lead.
Good decision here, just moving the ball around. When they do that weave up top, they're looking for the inside crease.
Too much cradling in traffic. Taken away by Chandler.
Yep, nice defense right there by Chandler to strip the ball, create that ground ball, and then make that transition. Here we go, setting up behind X. Chandler's going to try to sub here as well. Great defense by Zach Lacoste right there,
top of the ball.
The turnover. There we go. Good cause turnover by Brophy.
They said he went in and out of the crease there, so it'll be Chandler ball. I thought he was lying on top of the ball myself, but they didn't call it that way. So they said Dane Helt picked it up outside of the crease and ran through the crease, which is a violation, and Chandler will have the ball looking to cut it to 1 goal.
Yeah, so maybe tough to see there on TV, but the defensive player can't go in the crease and come back out of the crease like that. But, again, great defensive play. But Chandler maintains possession. They're going to set up the two-man game from below, look for the cutters.
A lot of two-man game, both teams tonight.
Yep.
There we see a pass picked off by Zach Lacoste. Let's see if Brophy can take advantage here. After the turnover last time, they did not.
Good play by Todd right there to almost act like a baseball player and take the short hop. Now Brophy's got to clear it. Dane's got the speed to go ahead and take this, and he will. Amitti's got to come back. Dane Helt's probably just going to get up to the wing and let the subs come on in. So we got about 3 minutes left. Brophy's up 6-4.
So Brophy looking to sub here, get their offense on the field. 7 turnovers have plagued Brophy in the first half, but still own a 6-4 lead in a battle of ALL unbeatens here. Friedman, too much dodging into traffic by Brophy tonight. The ball movement that they had early in the game is not here right now. And Chandler's taking advantage.
Good hustle by Nate LaGuardia on Chandler. Both teams are fighting for the ball. Great job by Nate LaGuardia right there picking up the ground ball.
Chandler timeout in the traffic there after a good defensive play. Scooped up by LaGuardia, and then seeing the traffic there, Coach Tice Thiessen wisely called timeout. That way Chandler can set up their clear, look to get up the field, and have a 6-5 potential deficit. That was Chandler's second timeout of the first quarter. So they will have no more remaining, the first half. They will have no more remaining in the first half. They will reset that to 2 once we start the third quarter. But Brophy's offense has slowed down a little bit. What I mean by slowed down, has slowed down in its ball movement and its player movement, and making Chandler move their defensive position to find the opening, which is what they did in building that 6-3 lead.
Yeah, probably a little bit too much of trying to go one-on-one, Scott, here in the second quarter versus that team ball. And so I think that's what they're going to, Coach Pat's probably talking about, again, move the ball. We call it move the ball hot, means move it quick, right? Ideally, you don't want the ball to be in your stick more than a couple of seconds. Otherwise, it allows the defense to settle. The players that are off ball, the ones who don't have the ball, they should be rotating, moving, exchanging, cutting in, cutting out, especially off a dodge, but even proactively before the player with the ball moves when he receives the ball. If you have that off-ball movement, it makes the defense move, and it actually opens up dodging lanes for the player with the ball. So I think you're right. I think in the second quarter we're seeing a little bit more of a slowdown and not as much off-ball movement. And we need to see that pick up for the Brophy.
Dylan Finder picks up the ball, and he will be a potential one-man clear for Chandler, a very tall, athletic player, and he is.
Yeah, Dylan just got tremendous speed. Big, fast, strong,
very good. Left-handed shot, misses it wide.
Yeah, and great job by Dylan there. Smart. No one came to him, and he took the shot. Good job by Brophy to force him to his offhand. If you're going to, against a player like Dylan, he's a phenomenal player. So if you're going to give up a shot, you want to force him to his offhand, make him shoot left.
Here's Finder again, guarded by freshman Aiden Ashore. He gets middle, but a good trail. Again, a cutting man wide open for Chandler, but could not connect. Harrison Yu with the ground ball, and if he's off to the races, keep your eyes glued to the screen.
Zach Lacoste with the ball taken up, left switches to his left, makes the pass to Ben
Geis. Splits 2 people, and now Brophy has a transition opportunity. But Friedman wisely slows it up.
Got 1 minute, 50 seconds left. They're going to set up their offense. try to move the ball and look for the right shot, look for the right player. Good job by Busey looking in there. Didn't see anybody. Swings it out to Eli. Eli down with a wide open shot. Another great save by Miller. So excellent job, excellent ball movement by Brophy. Great decision by Eli to take it down the alley. That Miller just made a great save.
Brophy got the shot they wanted. They swung the ball around, found Friedman, who had a short stick defender. He beat him, got to his S-dodge to the cage. But again, the bounce shot just saved by Miller, his 7th of the game, playing really nice game for Grant Miller. Good ball movement there for Brophy. Carter Fitzgerald with the shot. Another save by Miller. And picked up by Tate Lacoste, I believe, who scooped it up on the rebound, put it in the cage for a 7-4 Brophy lead.
Great skip pass by, no-look skip pass by Tate Lacoste up top to Carter Fitzgerald. Carter takes the shot. It was the right shot to take. Miller with a great save. Get a rebound, and the ball goes in.
As Miller was trying to scoop that ball up, Ben Geist wisely checked the ball out of his stick. Lacoste was there to scoop it up and find the extra net. Those gritty plays, we talk about extra possessions, that was a created extra play, which led to a goal for the Broncos.
Yeah, two strong teams like this, it's going to come down to hustle. It's obviously going to come down to execution, but those hustle plays, just like we just saw right there, Ben Geist, again, senior, going to Oberlin to play lacrosse, a very good academic school. He's going to have a great career there. Great hustle play again off the face-off by Ben Geist to bring it back down. Brophy's going to call a timeout.
So Brophy at the face-off X really taking advantage. 10 of 12 thus far this evening. That face-off win results in a ground ball, and Pat Harbison says, okay, folks, let's settle this down. 56.8 seconds left in the first half. I want to make sure that we get the last shot and a good shot to try and double up Chandler for its biggest advantage of the game heading into halftime.
Yeah, both teams are playing great. Chandler's playing great, playing with a lot of hustle, playing very aggressive, and you would expect that out of a Chandler lacrosse club. They have historically always been that. They play with a lot of pride. They got a lot of talent, and they're really challenging Brophy right now, and they're matching the intensity. So this is a fun game to watch. You have two teams that are not backing down to one another. They're playing hard. They're playing aggressive. There's not a lot of cheap shots. You're not seeing that. You're not seeing bad penalties, so it's fun to see them play a clean game, and yet very aggressive, very assertive, very physical. And it's probably going to come down to the team that makes more of those hustle, those ground ball efforts. We always talk about it. Whoever wins the ground balls, usually wins the game. Getting the ground ball is a reflection of the hustle plays. And so right now, I would say Brophy probably has the lead on that. But again, Chandler is battling. They're just not giving them the ball. They are fighting for everything. And again, you would expect that from a Chandler lacrosse club.
Brophy is taking advantage of those hustle plays for sure. What's hurting Brophy is their turnovers. And that's what's being the equalizer here between the face-off wins and whatnot, and the ground ball advantage that Brophy has is the turnovers that are keeping Chandler in the game. And you have to give credit to Grant Miller. 7 big saves. I think it's 8 now after that last one. 8 saves for Grant. He's really stepped up. We talked about Ryan Peitzmeyer and his talents going to Utah in the cage pregame, and Grant Miller said, hey, don't forget about me. Yeah. Chandler comes out in his zone here, Nate, at the end for the final minute of play, trying to make sure that Brophy doesn't get anything inside with their cutters and trying to force Brophy from the outside. Eli Friedman over to Ben Geist here.
Smart move by Chandler to do that. It's going to play probably into Brophy's hands because they want to wind the clock down. Eli's going to go with the top dodge here. Probably going to look over crease cut. Moves it down to Tate behind. Tate Armstrong. Skip pass. Josh Busey sweeps across.
Busey cut with the cut in the middle. A shot and a goal. Takes advantage. Chandler switched from a zone defense to a man defense halfway through that possession. Brophy recognized that, and that's when Eli went on the dodge. They spun it around, and when the ball moves, you find the open man.
Yeah, and again, 6'6" back there. First of all, great decision by Eli, right? So Eli's wanting to get on the board. He's a phenomenal player. Everybody knows that. But that was a very unselfish play by Eli Friedman to move the ball, trust your teammates, and that's what you have to do. In games like this, you have to trust your teammates. He trusts his teammate, meaning he moved the ball to X behind cage. 6'6" Tate is able to oversee the field, makes a great skip pass. Busey with a heck of a dodge and buries it.
That goal goes back to the face-off win by Grissoni, who did another one there and shot it just wide. 13.7 left. That previous goal goes to the Grissoni faceoff and Harbison calling the timeout and settling his team down. The play he called out of that timeout led directly to that goal. There, Eli Friedman shot right in the cage of Miller.
Miller throws it down. Good job by Dane Helt. Let's make sure Ryan can get the ball and kill it. Great job. Not a bad decision by Miller just to kind of Hail Mary that sucker all the way down the field and give his boys a chance to do that. So nice job by Dane Helt and Ryan to run it out. We talked about this trying to end the quarter or in the half going up. There's a big difference. They were up 7-4. There would be a big difference if they would have gave up a goal and it would only be 7-5. Going up 8-4 is monumental.
We talked about the late quarter goals for Brophy, which has been a problem for the Broncos all season long. Tonight, Brophy has 3 goals in the final 30 seconds of the first and second quarter. Those 3 goals right now are part of the 4-goal lead that the Broncos have after 24 minutes of play. It's been a great game so far. We knew it would be. We're going to take a little bit of a break, and we'll be back here for the second half of Brophy Broncos Lacrosse on APN Video. We're back for second half action here for Brophy Broncos lacrosse on APN Video. Brophy 9-0 on the season in ALL play, taking on Chandler 8-0 in a battle of unbeatens here for Arizona lacrosse. We're ready to start the second half in an 8-4 Brophy lead, its largest of the game. Brophy has taken advantage of the face-off X in shots and ground balls. Nate, what do you think for the second half?
So what I'm going to be looking for is Grant Miller, right? Grant Miller for the goalie for Chandler has been played excellent. He has really circumvented the turnovers that Brophy has had. So what I'm going to be looking for is, can Miller continue his pace of making all these saves? Because that's been the difference right now versus 10, 11, 12-4, and 8-4 right now. So I'll be looking for that. Continue to look. Brophy's playing some very, very solid defense against a very high-scoring team. So we'll see if we can continue that offensively. Continue to move the ball, continue to be unselfish, continue to get it out of your stick fast. That's the keys for Brophy into this half. Great job by Jack Grissoni, wins it. Again, this is another high IQ play to not force the ball, but to get it back to your midi or your attackman, set up in the offense.
So Grissoni picks up where he left off in the first half, another face-off win. Brophy has won 12 of 14. Josh Busey with the ball right now has 3 goals in the first half. Busey last year against Chandler, twice in 2 of the 3 matchups, had 4 goals in those games, and in the championship game between these two teams in 2023, Busey was the game MVP with 5 goals against Chandler. These two teams could see each other in the championship game, once again held at Desert Vista High School in early May. May 2nd is the championship game. These two teams met at Desert Vista in 2023, with Brophy winning 19-10 for the first of 3 state championships. Will it be number 4 this year? They call a ward on Busey there. Busey and Brandon Fountain were tied up. Fountain got the best of that matchup. Turnover number 9.
Yeah, so the offensive player can't, what's called ward, which means the defender is trying to poke with the stick. He can't take it, the offensive player can't take his offhand and push it away like a stiff arm in football. Great pickup by Zach Lacoste to start the fast break. Gets it out to Harry. Harry wisely pulls it out. Great job by Chandler in the transition defense to stop that fast break. And that's been a key. If you would ask Chandler's head coach, stop the Brophy's transition. And that was an excellent job by Chandler's defense right there to slow it down. Matthew Lightman tries to rip one quick. Nice save again by Grant Miller. Oh, we got a little turnover right here. Let's see if Eli can bury it. Another save by Miller.
Miller has 11 saves, and you have Eli Friedman is down on the field, which could be dangerous for Brophy. They will stop. And there's a flag on the field.
I'm telling you, Miller is playing. I haven't watched a lot of Chandler games, Scott, but I got to imagine this is probably one of his best games against one of the best teams in the state.
Miller, 11 saves right on the doorstep several times. That play, I think Friedman and Colin Hauser just went knee to knee.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything malicious. Let's hope Eli's fine. He's standing up. He's rubbing his knee. As they say, rub a little dirt on it, we'll get back in. Eli's a tough kid.
Eli's not going to come out of this game.
No.
I know Eli for a number of years, and in this highly contested game, 8-4, he's a little frustrated, I'm sure. He has several shots but no goals for Eli, which is uncharacteristic. So he's going to go to the sideline for a moment because they stopped the ball. He has to. He'll come back in the game as soon as he can bug the coaches to let him back between the lines.
You know when the head coach has to come out and get you, he doesn't want to come off the field. So he's got a little Rocky Balboa in him. He's gonna get back in this game. He's a fighter. He's a winner, and he's going to come out and play hard and finish. You're going to have to probably carry him off on a cart for Eli not to play. But, great job there. I don't think there was any malicious intent by Chandler. It was a great defensive play, just knee to knee, and Eli goes down. Let's see what we're doing here.
There is a flag on the play. It looks like Ben Geist is in the penalty box. Not exactly sure why. They're actually going to call the in-home player to be in, so it must be a misconduct on the bench for unsportsmanlike conduct, and it's a full-time penalty. What that means is Chandler has a power play, in essence, and if they score, they will still be on the power play. The penalty will not be released for an unsportsmanlike conduct foul on the Brophy bench.
So Brophy's going to go in their man-down defense with it, so it's basically 6 versus 5. Yeah, Scott, that's a great point. When it's unreleasable, typically if a team scores, then you're released to go back out, on at the next face-off. In this particular case, if there's a score within the time frame, he's not going to be released.
So let's put a mark down at the 10:06 mark. This is probably a 2-minute penalty. We are across the field, so we don't know for sure. But let's see how many goals Chandler can get within 2 minutes to narrow the 8-4 lead. See if it's 0, 1, or 2. Jace White shot there, but Peitzmeyer up to the task. His third save of the night from point-blank range. A key save, and Brophy has possession to try and kill off the rest of this penalty. But Harrison Yu in possession, and when he has it, look out because he's going to the cage. Wisely slows it back up. Brophy 5-on-6. You like the ball in Harrison Yu's stick, a former national team player for U.S. box lacrosse, a senior, 2-time first-team all-state defensive middie, going to Colorado College.
So you may be wondering, what in the world is Brophy doing? They're trying to kill the penalty, meaning that way they can play 6-on-6. We got a little bit of a high stick right there, so that's going to be a penalty, and then Brophy will be able to go man up.
So what Brophy should do here, they're man down right now. They called a moving screen on Brophy on that play, which I'm not sure was the right call. But what Brophy was trying to do was kill as much of the penalty as they could. So when the ball stops play, Brophy can have a man-up opportunity on the offensive end.
Yeah,
what happened there is they called a moving screen on Harry as he tried to set a pick for Josh. Again, not sure where that stands on that factor, but right now we're going to be 5-on-5 for probably about 45 seconds. And then Brophy will have 15 seconds left of a man-up opportunity. But essentially, the save by Peitzmeyer leads to an equalizing situation. In that case, Brophy wins there.
Yeah, and great job by Todd forcing that ground ball. Picks up the ground ball. Good clear by Dane to Harry, so excellent transition. Now we're 5-on-5, so it's even.
Tate Lacoste over to Friedman. Matthew Lightman on the dodge. Has some room. Shot. Another save by Miller.
Another great dodge by Matthew Lightman. Good shot. Again, just a great save by Miller. He's playing lights out tonight. Miller is keeping Chandler in this game.
Jake Brown, nice slide, nice contain by Lacoste, and a nice slide by Ashur.
So it seems odd in that position. You're like, oh, Jake Brown, number 34, was beating his man down the alley. A defender will actually give them so he doesn't have the rollback, and with that long pole, he can actually get the stick in there and make it so Jake Brown couldn't turn it into the field and take the shot. So, and then a great slide. So good defense all around right there.
We're back to even 6-on-6, both teams neutralizing the other. Here, Dylan Finder with the ball. Tonight without a goal, so Brophy doing a nice job on him. I don't want to jinx anything, but Brophy doing a nice defensive job on Finder. Here, Ben Geist on defense, and a nice early slide by Lacoste and Baldiga. Couple of cutters there. Ball a little high, and we'll see if the ball goes out of bounds. It does. It will be Brophy ball on the Chandler turnover, just on the shy side of midfield. So Busey, the attackman, comes across midfield to get it. Make sure that there's enough people on the offensive side. A smart play by Brophy and Josh Busey.
Yeah. High IQ in these kind of games and hustle, going to be difference makers right there. Excellent job by Brophy to clam up in the middle. They didn't allow the cutter to score. They shut down. They denied the cutter, forcing the pass. And that's what you want to do. Brophy's playing fairly strong this game in the last 3 games on defense down low.
Brophy has, what I've noticed is Brophy shots a lot are up high, and Miller's up to the task. Brophy has not really tested him with bounce shots recently, and Miller's been up to the task. They need to mix it up a little bit, keep him on his toes. That way, the next time they go high, he's not sitting there waiting for it. And here's Friedman with a bouncer, but hey, Miller says, I hear you, Scott Lightman, and I'm going to save that for my 13th of the night, season high for Miller.
So a little bit of melee. Looks like Carter Fitzgerald comes out with it. Again, another hustle play. We do have a flag down. May potentially be offsides here. We'll see.
2 flags down. Brophy with a slow flag trying to get a good shot. Here's Fitzgerald. on the dodge to the middle for the lefty. High to high again, saved by Miller, but Brophy will have a man-up advantage.
So when you're playing against a goalie who's on fire, and obviously a really good goalie, the idea is you have to move the goalie off their spot. Right now, Brophy has taken some outside shots. Miller candidly doesn't have to move too much, and he's in a zone. He's seeing what we call seeing the ball really, really well. So the way you have to move him is you have to move the ball by passing the ball and then shooting it quickly versus a bunch of dodges where he gives Miller the chance to just track the ball, and that's what he's doing right now. So the way you beat the goalie is to make him move side to side. You can do that if you move the ball from X. You can also do it if you dodge from the wing and you're moving the ball in a skip pass or a two-man game. Then you force the goalie to move, and that's what they're going to have to do besides changing the plane of their shots.
Great call, and Brophy was moving the ball quickly earlier. It has slowed down a little bit in the last quarter and a half, and Miller has taken advantage. But that was a nice shot to get it a little bit low, but again, still about a 12, 15-yard shot. With no one in front of him, he can see it cleanly.
Yeah, Chandler's going to live with that, right? Both teams are going to live with outside shots, right? Play the odds. You reduce your odds of a score, and the longer the shot, the harder it is. There's
an outside shot. Goal by Ranley. Maddox Ranley from outside gives Brophy its biggest lead of the game at 9-4. A man-up goal. That is 3 in a row for Brophy and 5 of the last 6.
Yeah, what an excellent step down. We talked about moving the ball, moving the goalie, getting the goalie off the spot. There, Manley was wide open right in the middle. Again, it's your man up, so you have an advantage right there. Great pass, great step down, and again, he shot it low, and I think that's all. He started high. In other words, his release was high and shot low. That's what you want to do. You gotta change the plane. And so Brophy being able to capitalize on that, take that lead 9-4, 5 minutes, 33 seconds left in the third quarter.
Pat Harbison said take command early in the first quarter. Right now they're taking command in the beginning part of each quarter. We have a flag down here on Chandler. So Brophy will go man up once again off the Grissoni face-off win. 13 of 15 for Brophy. And once again, they will go 6-on-5 with an illegal hit to the head. A 1-minute penalty. It's the second illegal contact in a row. And we'll see if Brophy can take advantage once again as they did just a few seconds ago.
And I got to, again, give credit to Miller with another great save. Busey is a D1 commit to Queens University out there in Charlotte. He's a great player, leading scorer. Him and Eli are leading scorers on this team and really in the state. And so he made a nice Busey was open, took the shot, and Miller took it right off the ground. So excellent job. But again, Brophy's got to look to make Miller move. Right there, we didn't really have to move him. He was able to just stay in and watch that ball come right into his stick, and he's playing great. So you got to make the goalie move. Here's what we're looking for, too. I think Chandler, probably the coaches are going to be working. They have to keep their composure. They've had a couple of now defensive plays that you would probably put in that lack of composure bucket. This is something Chandler's got to clean up because Brophy has a tendency to pull away in the third quarter.
Streak goals. But Brophy eliminates that with turnover number 10 on a moving screen on a man up against his own defense. So again, Brophy, an unforced error there, allows Chandler. Here's Nate LaGuardia. He saw this early, and the first time he's going to try it again, this time for Jake Brown. Shot wide.
Great job by Zach Lacoste, number 3 right there. The pole stops Nate LaGuardia. LaGuardia makes the right decision to feed his attackman, Jake Brown. And then Zach quickly moves over to Jake to force that outside shot. Or the wide shot. So both teams playing well in transition defense, I would say tonight, Scott. Not a ton of fast break goals, and that's a compliment to both defenses.
That was the number one thing that Coach Tice Thiessen for Chandler said. Limit Brophy's fast break transition opportunities. Number one item on his mind, and they've largely done that.
Yeah, they've done a good job, and I would agree 100% with that game plan. If you can limit Brophy to playing 6v6.
Can they push him offside? They did. Great defensive play. Harrison Yu and Cannon Jansen, number 18, first time we've called him tonight, but a beautiful double team to force the Chandler offensive player back across. Like in basketball, you cannot go on the offensive side and go back. It's called an over and back. So Brophy will get possession here.
I'd like to see Brophy bring the ball behind the cage and try to start there. Okay, they do that with Josh. We'll see if that creates any cutters. Freshman Alex White is in number 1. He was just on the cut right there, so that's what they're trying to look for is those cutters. Want to be patient. Move the ball around, get it back down to X. Again, make Miller move side to side.
Josh Busey has a short stick right now, but they do get the long stick back on him, so he gets the ball over to Braden Duck, who had some early nice plays, including an assist on the first goal for Brophy. Once again, he will look to start the offense from behind the cage here. He's got a long pole on him. Tate Lacoste from up top, guarded by Colin Hauser, who's going to Embry-Riddle.
Embry-Riddle, a great D2 school out in Florida. Nice pass.
Beautiful pass by Tate to Tate Armstrong. Tate to Tate. Saves the ball. No. Now it goes to Chandler again. Turnovers, keeping the Pumas in the game with 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter.
Let's see if Chandler can take advantage of these turnovers. It's the combination of the turnovers and Miller's play and the goalie that's keeping Chandler in this game. Great job by Dylan Finder. Just tremendous speed, be able to clear the ball on his own.
And Chandler clears the way, allows him to have the ball. Know your personnel, they say, and Chandler did.
I can see them getting the ball back behind cage and trying to look for the cutter. When you're playing against a goalie like Ryan, it's similar to Miller. They just haven't had a lot of shots on Ryan, but they're going to do that. The best way to score against Ryan, is within 5 to 6 yards, not from outside.
This is Jace White with the ball, guarded by Baldiga. Todd making him go left, not allowing him to go in. Jace turns around, and that one, I'll take Ryan's chances on rollbacks like that all day. Beautiful save, and the outlet here for Zach Lacoste.
Yeah, like I just said, you're going to live with that. I'll take Ryan all day against an outside shot. And Jace White's a great player too, but I still will take those odds.
Best clear of the night for Brophy, using all aspects of the field. The defense shifting it from back on both sides of the field, and then using the midi coming out of the box.
Yeah,
to clear it. And now resetting with a 9-4 lead, under 2 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Brophy has finished the first and second quarter strong. Let's see if they do it again here in the third.
Yeah, real patient right there in the clear. You don't want to get frantic. Another great save. Nice pass. Good job by Eli. Good dodge. Great cut by Alex White, but a stuff by Miller. And again, just playing lights out back there. I can't give him enough compliment of how he's playing the position right there. Great job.
The only thing Alex could have done differently was maybe throw a pump fake in there and then shoot it afterward. But in that quick of a bang-bang play, he made the right shot, and it was just a nice save by Miller. Here's Harrison Yu on defense.
Good smothering defense right there. Get that ground ball.
And again, an early slide, and Brophy's defense sliding we've talked about all year. Maybe has not been on point tonight thus far in the first three quarters. Has been strong. A nice ground ball.
Another great clear. Good job by Dane Helt with his speed just to take it and go. Being patient right there. Again, making smart decisions. Alex White, the freshman, carrying the ball up, taking a lot of heat, but good job by Alex to take that heat away from number 77. Good job by the defender as well.
Clearing in the first half was not Brophy's strong suit. Second half has been. What a beautiful play right there. We have a penalty coming up against for a high hit against Lacoste, but a beautiful dodge by Matthew Lightman, finding Tate Lacoste in the slot on that play. The shot went just a bit high. I think they both would be like, wow, that would have been a highlight Sports Center top 10 moment.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we're getting Sports Center, but maybe Instagram. But, yeah, that was a great play. And those two, they connect really well. And that was an excellent dodge by Matthew Light. And very unselfish. Again, you could argue he had a shot. But, again, to move the goalie off his spot, he found Tate. Tate with a jump shot just went a little bit high, took the hit. It still stays with Brophy. But you got to like the play. First you analyze the decision, then you look at the execution. The decision was great. You make the more right decisions than not, you're going to be successful in this sport.
We'll see what Brophy does with the man up. They may just hold the ball in their stick and take the advantage for the start of the fourth quarter with no face-off. It looks like that's what they're going to do and not get a shot. I stand corrected. Maddox Ranley with the shot, and once again for the third time tonight, Brophy scores within the last 20 seconds of the quarter. This one gives the Broncos a 10-4 lead. Maddox Ranley, his second man-up goal of the night.
Yeah, I don't think he had the earpiece in listening to Coach Pat, because I'm assuming Coach Pat would have said exactly what you were saying, to take the ball into the fourth quarter with the man up. But that being said, if you got the shot and you're feeling it, sometimes in sports, right, as they say, you'd rather be lucky than good, and Manley was actually good and lucky in a sense at that same time. We'll take the shot, we'll take the score, and again, Miller's playing great, but he's taking a ton of shots, and so, typically if you shoot a lot of goals, if you're shooting the ball, it's going to wear that goalie down and that defense down.
What they call a numbers game in percentages. Grissoni again with the faceoff win at the end of the quarter. Will he get a shot off? Yes, and a goal!
Boom,
at the buzzer. 2 goals within 7.8 seconds. Brophy now has 5 consecutive goals to take an 11-4 lead. That is 5 goals in the last 30 seconds of a quarter for Brophy tonight.
Yeah, real difference maker, and you've got to love that by Jack. I mean, he has no fear, and sometimes that hurts him. But in this particular case, running down at the end of the quarter, for Jack to take that was a great job.
Have a night, young fella.
Yeah.
14 of 16 on the face-off success. Plus that goal gives Brophy an 11-4 lead. Again, that has been an Achilles heel for the Broncos all year long, is end of quarter play. Again, tonight, 2 goals within 7.8 seconds there at the end of the quarter. Also scoring with 3.9 seconds left in the second quarter. And Brophy has just wrested control of the game with a 7-goal advantage right now with 12 minutes to go. Taking control and asserting your authority is something that Brophy wanted to do. Chandler came in with high hopes of this game. The whole town was abuzz. We have a beautiful crowd here tonight. The most full I've seen these stands in several years here at Brophy. And it's a juiced environment with 2 teams going head-to-head. And goals like that really make an impact in trying to deflate your opponent and getting in the mental game.
Yeah, especially when Chandler is playing very solid defense. They're holding a very prolific offensive and complete team in Brophy to 11 goals going into the fourth quarter. So playing them really tough. Again, we've talked about Miller and playing the goalie and playing that goalie position and how well he's playing. So they're playing a great game, but it's a fantastic night. We talked about it at the start. This game has not let us down whatsoever, even though it's 11-4. I got a lot of respect for Chandler. I can tell you this, they are not going down easy, Scott. They are going to fight in this fourth quarter. I would imagine offensively, Dylan's probably got to start to take over a little bit more. I mean, I think you got to get the ball to number 19, and you got to let him go to work. Dylan is a very unselfish player. He's a fun if you're a teammate of Dylan's, you got to love playing with him because he's going to find you if you're open. I just feel there's a couple of opportunities that maybe he's had here in this game that he needs to try to take over and be kind of that Michael Jordan, right? Now, again, that doesn't mean complete ball hog and not pass anything, but I think he's got to look for those moments to say, give me the rock, I got to take my team and try to win this game.
He has. He's been unselfish tonight in looking for the cutters, and that has happened several times. A lot of times they've been connected, sometimes they've misconnected because the Brophy defense has done a nice job in collapsing. Chandler started the fourth quarter with the ball. I'm not exactly sure what happened instead of having a face-off after the goal, but Chandler started possession here in the fourth quarter with the ball, trailing 11-4, trying to get unhitched on offense. Here's Jace White. And again, the Brophy defense, Harrison Yu, just suffocating defense, causes the turnover. Brophy with the pickup, Dane Helt, and we'll see how the Broncos clear the ball here.
Let's see if Tate can get that ball. I'm not quite sure where Ryan was going, but hey, we'll take it. Good hustle by.
He was throwing it to Tate.
Oh, he's throwing it to Tate. Okay,
no problem.
I'll give him that. Tate bringing back his football days of wide receiver and tracking that ball down, I guess. So there we go.
Wise tracking.
So right now, Brophy's going to be sub, trying to get their 6 offensive players on. So smart move by Alex White just to swing the ball up.
Here's Carter Fitzgerald, the lefty. Busey over to Lacoste. Lacoste a little high. Alex White there to recollect it and reclaim it for the Broncos. As we are a minute to go here in the fourth quarter, Brophy has scored the game's last 5 goals. The last Chandler goal was the 5:23 mark of the second quarter. So the defense we talked about in the pregame, which defense would hold up better, was going to be the winner tonight. Brophy's defense has been up to the task with perhaps so far, I don't want to jinx it again, its best performance of the year.
Yeah, we got a whole quarter to go, so we'll see. To your point, I guarantee you Tate's going to want that ball back because he's probably going to want to take that shot a little bit higher up the island.
Again, the thing that's unseating Brophy is cradling into traffic.
Yeah, we got to move the ball. Brophy's got to move the ball and hit the open guy. Chandler is just pesky with their sticks. They're really good with their stick work on that. Nice save by Ryan Petzmeyer. Excellent job. Great. Wow, Tom, 6'6" with a 6-foot pole. The man's rumbling, stumbling. He could go all the way. Never mind. He's
wisely
pass
passed it to Friedman. Over to, is that Alex White, just wide. And now Brophy will reset, get into a 6-on-6 offense, and move the ball. The one thing that could unseat Brophy right now in their momentum is not moving the ball, not moving the defense, and not finding the right open shot.
Yeah, exactly. They gotta play smart. They gotta play wise. They gotta play like a team that knows how to win and put the metal to the pedal to the metal, as they say.
Pedal to the metal. 13th turnover for Brophy.
I do like how they're playing a little bit more loose right now, which is a good sign. They're playing a little bit more loose.
Yep, it's one
which
of the
is
keys.
positive.
It's one of the keys that Coach Harbison said pregame was, hey, don't let the gravity of the game or the hype of the game overtake you. Play free, more free than you ever have before.
Yes.
And as coaches, we're going to allow the kids to play.
Yeah.
We're not going to call plays and make them run it to their fullest. Let's let the kids play. And you've seen it tonight.
Yeah, and that third quarter, again, this is where Brophy tends to pull away. They started playing a little bit more free, and then we start to see it. Doesn't mean they're going to play perfect.
Oh, what a doorstop save by Peitzmeyer. A great feed by Finder. But Peitzmeyer gets it, and a beautiful run out by Brophy. Here's Zach Lacoste.
Wake up, ref!
Oh, a great lefty long pull pass. Brophy in transition. Here's Geist over to Lacoste.
What a left-handed with a pole 25-yard pass on a dime to his midi by Zach Lacoste. What a great play right there. Smart move by Tate Lacoste to bring it back out, move the ball around, kill it. We got 8:53 left. You're up by 7. So unless you have a wide-open shot, I know it sounds odd. You want to push in transition, but you want to also kill clock, and that's just as important.
Having the ball is what matters most.
So
making passes, if I were the coach, and I'm not, and I don't pretend to be, but I would tell them, don't pass the ball unless it's a 100% pass.
Yeah.
Friedman, Grant Miller, ladies and gentlemen. I know the score is 11-4 Brophy, but Grant Miller may be the most valuable player on the field tonight.
I was just about to say that. What a play by Grant. Eli is a phenomenal player, and he just took the ball right away from Eli. So great job by Miller.
The key for Eli and other Brophy players is, you know what? The kid's playing out of his mind. Give him hat tip, clap for him, but you have to stay positive and you have to keep going.
And keep shooting, right? You got to keep shooting. They're doing a good job. Earlier, Finder had an excellent pass down low. It turned over. It was a turnover. It was an excellent look down low.
Peitzmeyer's been up to the task here with beautiful point-blank saves of his own. He has 6 tonight. He says, don't forget about me. Finder lefty shot. Wide, beautiful when you have a 6'5" and a 6'4" defender collapsing on him. You force his shot plane to be in a different spot. And there, those long poles reaching out from Baldiga and Ashur made him get his stick out, and he missed it wide.
Yeah, and Aiden is relatively new to playing LSM. He's played it before, but I would say he's normally played down low. Nice scoop and ground ball there by Zach Lacoste. Takes a hit, trying to get it. We'll see.
Ground ball
Chandler
picked
comes
up by
up. Good
Chandler.
hustle play by Chandler right there.
And here's Finder.
But earlier, Aiden was going against Dylan, and he did a great job forcing him again to his left-handed shot.
Here's Finder. Beautiful play. Nice pass to Jake Beaver.
Oh,
and
my
what
gosh.
a save by Peitzmeyer. Oh, my gosh. The goalie play today has been the best goalie play I've seen in Arizona high school lacrosse in years.
Yeah, both are just going at it, and they are playing. What a great pass. He's wide open, 3 fakes, and he still stuffs it.
So hats off, Dylan Finder. Beautiful pass there to Jake Beaver. Beaver cannot hang his head. That was an amazing save by Peitzmeyer.
Yeah, you got to do that. So Brophy here on offense, you have 6:39. They're going to be aggressive. Coach Pat runs an aggressive offensive team, so they're going to be aggressive. What you're looking for here is they're not making dangerous passes. You're looking for, to your point earlier, make the right pass, make an easy pass. Chandler's going to play frantic, right, in a sense. They're going to play with a lot of energy because they have to force turnovers. Offensively, you can't feed into that.
Nope. Stay composed, stay smart, and run your offense. Don't be forced into what Chandler wants you to do. You dictate the tempo and what's happening. You have the ball.
Yeah, Chandler's got some scrappy defenders. They're great with their sticks. I mean, props to them. Their stick work has been really, really solid tonight. They've really cut down in the middle like this when they're trying. Brophy has a tendency to hit those cutters in the middle.
Geist, shot. I thought that went in.
That was in the back of the net, I'm pretty sure. Apparently not, though. Scott, the refs have a better view than we do. Great feed by Tate Lacoste to Ben. Great shot by Ben. I thought that went to the back of the cage. It's a turnover, and it should be going Brophy's way, I believe. Oh, I think they called the timeout first. Chandler called the timeout first.
Just saw the replay, and it still looked like it was a goal to me, but it was not. So 5:36 left in the game. Brophy leading 11-4, and for the Broncos, these teams played 3 times last year. Brophy came out on top in all 3, winning 19-5 in the playoff semifinals, also winning 9-1 down in Chandler and 16-5 here on this field at the Brophy Sports Campus. These 2 teams played again in the 2023 state championship game, and we could see these 2 teams playing here on APN video on May 2nd from Desert Vista in the state championship game. The last team to beat Brophy in state was this Chandler team. We're talking about 34 straight Brophy Arizona wins since then, including 3 state championships, 28 regular seasons, 6 in the postseason. So Brophy has been the class of Arizona, but Chandler has been hanging on, and tonight they gave a great effort and still playing tough. This team will not give up. They will play hard, they will play tough, and they will still try and take the ball away from you.
Yeah, Scott, it's been fun just calling this game because I love how Chandler's playing this game. They're playing hard, they're playing aggressive again, but they're playing assertive, they're playing smart. You have 2 really good teams going at it here, so this is a lot of fun to watch. Let's see if Brophy's defense can stymie and really shut down Chandler's offense right here.
It's been 2 full quarters since the last Chandler goal.
Yeah, which we haven't seen that out of the Brophy defense all year. So for them to shut down, especially a team.
Great stick by Zach Lacoste. I'm sorry for interrupting you there.
Great.
But Dylan Finder again beat his man, did his job, found a slide and passed the ball cross crease. And Zach, with that 6-foot pole, just knocked it down. So Chandler retains possession, but Lacoste did his job to make sure that the offensive player did not get it.
Yeah, otherwise Ryan would have had to make another, Hercules stop right there because it was a great look by Dylan Finder.
Great pressure defense. Again, the early slide by Brophy forced a bad pass by Chandler. There, a loose ball push gives the ball to Chandler. But again, the defensive concepts and execution by Brophy was on point on that play once again.
Yeah, absolutely. I could see them spinning the ball here back through X. They're going to probably look to Dylan on the wing and see if Dylan can go to work here on the right wing.
Jace White from X. Peitzmeyer got a piece of that one for sure, and the ball goes out of bounds to Chandler.
Yeah,
but
nice dodge by Jace White. He had the shot. I think Ryan, just with his athleticism, threw the shot off a little bit. So great dodge by Jace White.
Even Jace making the nice dodge. They got him, Brophy's defense got him to his left hand. Didn't let him get in his strong hand. So even though he had a step, still forced him into his less strong position. Here's Finder.
Yeah, so that's what I was talking about. This is, if I'm Chandler, I'm getting Dylan on this right wing, primarily because he can sweep across the top with his strong with his right. He's very talented going to his left. That time Top forced him to his left, took a shot, but it was a little wide. Jace
White up the hash, beat his man, but he shot it from a little bit of a low angle. Had he gone 1 or 2 steps more, he still would have had a little bit of a greater percentage and more of the cage to shoot at. This is the 3rd time Chandler has had it on this possession. Finder wide open here on the wing. Sweeps middle. Great defense by Brophy. A nice shot for him to get his hands free and get it off, but again, the defense by Brophy did a much better job on that one, forcing a shot that Finder is not his 100% strong suit.
Yeah, Chandler had a lot of opportunities right there. Chandler had a lot of opportunities to score. They didn't. Again, unfortunately here, you have a turnover in Brophy. Good job by number 3, and Jake Zogelman taking the ball and taking it across for the clear. So good job by number 3.
Brophy did a nice job on defense, got into transition, which is what it wanted, but just a missed passing catch. We have a trip on Brophy, so that will be a 60-second advantage for Chandler here with 3:28 remaining in the ball game. Chandler on the man up tonight is Ofer.
Yeah, unfortunate right there. Kendall Whitson, freshman number 17, didn't mean to trip him, but it was a legitimate trip, so Chandler will get the ball and go man up here. 3 minutes, 28 seconds left. Brophy up by 11.
And 11-4.
I'm sorry, 11-4. Up 11-4.
It's okay. Yeah. 11 would be nice.
I like seeing Dylan try to look to get his, so to speak, and really kind of put the team on his back. He's taking the ball to the rack, and that shows leadership for him to step up and try to get something going for his team.
4 different scores for the 4 goals for Chandler. None of them are finder, which is the first time this year he would go without a score. We still have 3 minutes to go, so we're not saying he's not going to. He's a dangerous player, and the likelihood is he will. But right now it's 11-4 Brophy. Nice pickup by Dane Helt.
So there they did hit the cutter. Again, it's against a man down, so that's where the middle is usually open. Dane Helt does have the ball. Probably should be able to just transition it right here. Chandler just missed an opportunity right there. Move the ball up to Harry. Harry's going to probably push here in transition.
With the man down, I would kill the play here.
Yeah.
It's a man down penalty. So still have 20 seconds left, and Harbison realizes that. Coach Harbison says timeout. Let's kill the last 19 seconds of this sucker and see what happens here in the last 2 minutes and 46 seconds with a 7-goal lead. Hey, last time the transition happened, we turned the ball over. This time, let's make sure that we do the right thing here. So we're looking at an 11-4 Brophy lead. We have 3 goals for Josh Busey, 2 goals for Madison Ranley, 1 for Jack Rossoni, 1 for Tate Lacoste, 1 for Tate Armstrong, 1 for Harrison Yu, 1 for Carter Fitzgerald, and 1 for Matthew Lightman. That's the scoring for the Broncos tonight. A senior-laden scoring effort on senior night. 5 seniors for the Broncos. Those 5 seniors in their career here have posted a 73-15 record, a winning percentage of 84%, and I think most people would take that as being successful. A 22-2 season last year, a 21-2 season a few years ago. All 5 are starters. 4 are multi-year starters. Only 1 ALL loss in their career, and that was the aforementioned loss to Chandler. And all 5 had multiple college offers to continue their lacrosse career in college. So a small but definitely a mighty class here for Brophy as they look to become the first senior class to win a state championship in all 4 of their years. Never in Arizona Lacrosse League history has a team won 4 straight state championships. We will see what happens in the last few weeks of the season. This is the final ALL game for Brophy in the regular season before the playoffs. It's been an exciting season, and this has been a great game tonight.
Yeah, a lot of pride for these seniors, and the one thing even more than their lacrosse prowess is they're all 5 really good kids, good young men, and they really do work well and help the younger classmen to kind of pass on that torch, if you will, of this Brophy legacy.
So the colleges that these seniors will attend, Josh Busey will go to Queens College in Charlotte, North Carolina, Harrison Yu at Colorado College in Colorado Springs, Ben Geist to Oberlin College in Ohio. Who's the one I'm missing?
Matt Lightman?
Matthew Lightman will be attending college at the U.S. Naval Academy in Annapolis, Maryland. So that's the 5. I was waiting for him, but I thought I missed someone in between the others. But I'm glad I got all 5 there. A talented class here. Carter Fitzgerald, his 2nd goal of the night. 1:58 remaining, a 12-4 Brophy lead.
Great look by Eli right there. Nice cut. Again, off-ball cut. You know, obviously Brophy's winding down the clock. They're up pretty large right now, but still you want to see teams execute. And Eli, again, looking to the middle, Carter cutting, finding him for an open shot. So great job.
I did only hit 4 of the 5 seniors. Todd Baldiga will be
Baldiga
going to play
Mercer.
at Mercer. That's why I knew Matthew's time wasn't up yet because I was missing one, and I had a 54-year-old brain freeze there for a moment.
I tell you what, I want to go visit Maddie out at Naval Academy. We went and took a tour a couple years ago of the Naval Academy, and it was so. I mean, it's just amazing. It's a great place.
Come on in. The water's nice. We'll be glad to have dinner at the Annapolis downtown with you anytime. You, Tate, Zach, Matthew and Drew, and Margot and myself would love to host you guys there anytime.
It'll be a good time. Yeah, that would be fantastic.
This has been a fun year working with you. We still have 3 games remaining. That being the Spire on Monday night, the 14th, play Spire from Ohio here at the Brophy Sports Campus. That game will begin at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Then on Wednesday, the 16th of April, the final regular season game of the season as Brophy hosts Christian Brothers Academy from Lincroft, New Jersey, the Jersey Shore. That game will be also at 6:30 p.m. Pacific time. Nice, beautiful pass. Kathan Cherukuri to Eli Friedman, and Brophy scores goal number 13 with 1:34 remaining.
Yeah, this is a great play by Kathan. Kathan typically plays more SSDM, short stick defensive mid. He's fast, he's aggressive, plays really well, gets opportunity to go on offense there, capitalizes with a nice dodge, and finds junior Eli Freeman with a great cut. Again, looking for the cutters. And again, just to say, I understand Brophy is up, but they had to make Miller move. And so with that cut up the hash, Kathan finds Eli opposite, makes Miller move. It creates a wide open shot for Eli. So great play by those two.
And we talked about Chandler not giving up, but also you see Brophy using different personnel in there and still playing the right way, finalizing the game in an unselfish fashion.
Yeah. Freshman Corbin Ruschenberger there at faceoff did a great job there. Nice play by Nate LaGuardia to get the ball back for his Chandler Lacrosse Club. As
we wind down with a little more than a minute to play here, I would say this is the most complete Brophy game of the year.
Yeah, especially on defense. To hold a team like Chandler to 4 goals, Chandler's good. I mean, Chandler's legit. So for to hold them to 4, this defense really stood their ground.
So what a game like this means is if these two teams do play in the playoff, that's going to be a hold, no question. So 49 seconds left in the game, and Chandler will go man up. But what this result means, these two teams are likely to play again. I don't want to cast off and make predictions, but if these teams play again, a 13-4 maybe final result will linger in the minds of both teams as they take it on. Chandler will have revenge on their mind, but they will also know that Brophy pulled away. It was a 4-3 game at one point. Late in the first quarter, Brophy scored Harrison Yu with 19 seconds left in the first quarter. And from there, 4-3, it's been a 9-1 Brophy run.
Yeah, pretty typical for Brophy this year in that third and fourth quarter to kind of pull away. Earlier right there, in case you were watching, there was what's called a hold. So Todd Baldega, he can't put his stick underneath the player and lift the player up. So Jake Brown, number 34, he got his stick in there and he lifted him up. That's called a hold, and it's a penalty.
Beautiful save again by Peitzmeyer, his 9th tonight. 9 saves for Ryan and 17 saves for Grant Miller. Goalie play, you have to just sit here and applaud.
Yeah, and good take by Von Cabrera, number 7. I mean, that was a good shot. Ryan's just a really good goalie, and he was able to sit there. He's played well. Miller's played well. And, again, I know I sound like a broken record, Scott, but if you're playing against a good goalie, the only way you're going to score consistently is you got to make a move. Right there, you didn't make Ryan move, and so he was able to track it.
And you look at the 4 Chandler goals have all been on the inside. To your point, from the outside, he's been great. Finder with the goal with 6 seconds to go. He does get on the board. We knew it would be hard to keep him off the scoreboard completely. So a nice sweep move with a bounce shot by Dylan Finder, 6 seconds to go. Ryan will probably be kicking himself for that one. But 13-5 with 6 seconds to go, and that will likely be the final score here from Brophy.
Dylan, and we talked about this earlier, but when you give a guy like Dylan the opportunity to dodge from the right wing like this, he can go either up top and swing across with a strong hand, get his momentum going, or cut down left to the cage, to the pipe. Dylan this time was able to get inside, and you're not going to hold him down.
I would say he had 1 goal. So for 47 minutes and 54 seconds, Brophy held Dylan Finder without a point. You have to tip your cap to the Brophy defense. What an amazing effort tonight all around. Face-offs, Brophy won 15 of 17 tonight, scoring 13-5, an all-around fantastic effort for the Broncos. Nate, what do you think?
Yeah, I really, first of all, props and compliments to Chandler. They came in here with a very, very good game plan. You could see them working on executing that. Again, I'll say it, I'll repeat myself, but they played hard. They played right. They played tough. They were physically tough. They hustled. They didn't back down. They were not intimidated. They came in here to do one thing, and that was to win, and you saw that. And a lot of teams want to come in here and win. Chandler was coming in here expecting to win, and you saw them play that way. So big-time kudos to Chandler. Again, Miller was out of his mind, played phenomenal. Defense was good. Brophy just came out, and we talked about this. It's definitely their best defensive game that we've seen them play. I think we got to still cut back on some of the turnovers. I think that's still going to be something Coach Pat's going to work on. But the defense set the tone. Ryan was phenomenal in goal. The transition game worked, and the offense did what they needed to do. And there are a lot of players on the Brophy's offensive side scored, and that was good to see. Again, I'll keep saying this through the season. More guys scoring means Brophy is more in a flow, which means they're going to put a lot of points on the board. So great job by Brophy. Excellent job to Chandler. What a game to watch. We probably got, I don't know, a couple 100, 200-300 people here tonight. Fun to watch this game with the fans going, and it's just a pleasure to call this game. So great job. And thanks to Mr. Jeff Lowry on camera.
Brophy had 8 different goal scorers tonight of their 13 goals, so well-balanced scoring attack. The one thing we didn't mention that was key to the Brophy's victory tonight, it was an intangible, okay? Brophy handled the pressure of the game well from the start. The turnovers were there, but that wasn't due to being tight or pressure. They took the gravity of the game and really neutralized it and asserted themselves to wrest control.
Yeah, and that's something that Coach Pat will work on if you ask him. It's one reason why he schedules so many out-of-state games as well. The number one goal every year is to win state championships. That's what Pat's here. That's what Pat's doing, and he's growing this program over the last 5, 6, 7 years, whatever, to do that. And obviously he's done a phenomenal job. But they are peaking at the right time, and I tell you, it's dangerous for any team going to face this Brophy team with that defense, that face-off, that transition, and this offense that trusts everybody. That's probably the number one thing, is what you said, Scott, was spot on. Taking that intangible of playing in the moment and not letting it get bigger than themselves. Taking that in the playoff is significant, and this is going to be a great playoff run here for Brophy.
So with that, we will sign off here from the night. The final score from Brophy Sports Complex. Brophy 13, Chandler 5. Thank you for joining us from wherever you are joining us. Omaha, Nebraska, Garden City, New York, the Pacific Northwest, and anywhere and everywhere in between, including this Valley of the Sun. We look forward to seeing you on Monday night.